You are watching the Target 1.2 retest film. In this film, we're going to do a few of the problems that are in the packet. And that packet is the one that you need to complete in order to retest on that target from the Unit 1 test. Now, Target 1.2 says that I can demonstrate understanding of real-world situations that can be modeled as linear relationships with constraints. So pick up the white packet that says 1.2 retest worksheets, and we'll get started. All right, we're going to look at problem number 1 and problem number 6 to start, and we're going to write the inequalities that model the situation for each of those word problems. Number 1 says you would like to purchase both strawberries and cherries for the toppings of an ice cream sundae. Strawberries are $2.25 per pound, and cherries are $4 per pound. You must spend at least $25. Now we're talking about inequalities, so none of these are going to have equal signs. But we do have a couple of different variables here. So looking at this first one, strawberries, we're just going to use S for strawberries. And so S is equal to strawberries. And we have cherries, so we're going to use C. C for the number of cherries. Number of pounds per cherries, sorry. So for this inequality, we have $2.25 for every pound of strawberries. And we have $4 for every pound of cherries. Now it says always on these, it's always going to say some sort of words that say like at least or more than, something that indicates which one of these symbols you are going to use. Okay, now it says at least 25. So I usually ask myself a couple of questions. Can I use $25? Can I spend $25? And the answer would be yes. At least 25 says 25. Okay, could I spend 24? No, because I need to spend at least 25. Can I spend 26? Yes. So that describes to me this inequality right there, greater than or equal to. So all the numbers that are bigger than 25, but also includes 25. So there is your inequality. Let's go to number 6, and we'll come back and look at them both. Number 6 says a parking lot can hold up to 100 meters squared. Buses take up 12 meters squared of space, and cars take up 6 meters squared of space. So it looks like we have B, and that can be the number of buses, and C be the number of cars. So if we have these two variables, we can use, let's see, 12 times the number of buses and 6 times the number of cars, and that'll tell us how many square feet are total. And it says up to. Now that word up to says, up to 100. Can I use 100? Yes. Can I use 99? Yes. Up to 100. Can I use 101? No. So all of those are less than 100 that we said worked. 99, 98, 97. And 100 is included in that. So that's why we'll use less than or equal to 100. Now, a couple of mistakes that I saw in the test, you guys, are these. A lot of people will start with that 25. So they'll do 25. And they'll think, oh, at least 25, that means greater than or equal to 2.25s plus 4c. Now notice, this one is saying that this stuff is bigger than 25, where in this one it's saying that this stuff, since it's by the little side, is less than 25, so not the same thing. So as a general rule, in order to get these problems right, and I saw this a ton on the test, like there's so many people who write it that way, start with the variables, and that'll help you out with getting the symbol correct. Okay, another thing to think about with the symbol is you want the bigger stuff by the bigger side. So when it says at least $25, you know that 25 is going to be smaller than all the rest. So see how 25 is by the little side of the inequality, and the letters are by the big side? So you want the big stuff on the big side of the inequality and the little stuff by the little side. So all the cars and buses need to be smaller than 100. It holds up to 100. So that's why the cars and buses are by the little side, whereas the 100 is by the big side. All right, so hopefully that helps you distinguish where that symbol gets used. If you don't understand that, go ahead and rewind it and watch it again. We're going to move on to number 11, and we're going to do number 16 right away at the same time. So turn to page number 11. It says we're going to graph the inequality from problem number 2. So you don't see this part here. I just put number 2 up there with its answer. You can always check the answers in the back. That's fine. But let's graph this. This one says 2w plus 8c is less than or equal to 20. So just to keep things straight, I'm always going to use the first letter on the x-axis and the second letter on the y-axis. So that's w and that's c. And then most, if not all of these are going to be in standard form. So I'm going to make a WC table, not an XY table, a WC table. And we're going to find some intercepts. So if I plug 0 in for W, I get 8C is equal to 20. That means C is 2.5. So the C intercept is 2.5. Here's the C axis. So C intercept being 2.5 puts it there. Okay, I'm also going to put 0 in for C. And I have 2W plus 8 times 0 is equal to 20. And when I divide by 2, I get 10. So W is 10. That means 10 on the W. Here's the W axis. 10 on the W axis puts it there. This is a less than or equal to. So that's a solid line. And from axis to axis, there you have it. Now, shading is an inequality. So it's going to be shading. Let's try 0, 0 again. That gives me 2 times 0 plus 8 times 0 is less than or equal to 20. These are all zeros. 0 is less than or equal to 20 is true. So that means all of this stuff towards 0, 0 works. Okay? When it comes down to shading, if you're using 0, 0, in real life problems, we're going to have all positive numbers here. So less than is pretty much always going to go right to 0, 0. You can always test 0, 0 to make sure, but you can almost do it in your head. 2 times 0, 8 times 0, that 0 is less than 20. Perfect. I'll shade towards the 0, 0. Now, number 16 says, from your graph, number 11, find one point that is a solution and explain it in context of the problem. So I'm going to pick a point in here that's a solution. Here's one right there, 3, 1. It's in the shaded region, and 3, comma 1. Now remember, x is w, c is y. So 3 is w, and if you look back in the problem, it says w is the walnuts per pound. So 3 pounds of walnuts. And let's see, C must be cashews then, and that's pounds of cashews. 1 pound of cashews. There you have it. Again, rewind again and look at this problem again and see what you all have to do. Context of the problem in this case means tell me what the W and the C are, the X and the Y. Tell me what they are. Okay, let's move on. I'm also going to do number 25, which is going to be writing, I believe the thing says writing the, defining the variables, writing the objective equation, and then taking care of the constraints also. So this one says a fruit grower has 150 acres of land available to raise 2 crops, crop A and crop B. It takes 1 day to trim an acre of crop A and 2 days to trim an acre of crop B. And there are 240 days per year available for trimming. So it looks like trimming is going to be a constraint. It takes 0.3 days to pick an acre of crop A and 0.1 day to pick an acre of crop B. Then there are 30 days per year available for picking. So it looks like there's another constraint. Find the number of acres of each fruit that should be planted to maximize the profit, assuming that the profit is 140 acres of crop A and 235 per acre of crop B. So we do not have to solve this piece. We just need to define the variables, write the objective, and then come up with the constraints. So the variables get defined by looking for the thing that we're supposed to do. What is it asking for? Well, it's asking for us to maximize profit. And what do we know about profit? Profit has to do with crop A and crop B. So that's what our variables are going to be. So let's write that. A is equal to the number of acres of crop A, and B is the number of acres of crop B. And right from that, we can come up with our objective right away. We want to maximize profit. It says 140 dollars for each acre of A and 235 for each acre of crop B. you add them together to make sure that you're getting your total profit. Now, as far as constraints, so right now we have used that sentence and that sentence, and let's see, we have some other sentences to pick from. So anywhere there's numbers is probably going to be a good idea that we're going to write a sentence about it. So it says it has 150 acres of land available. So that's one that doesn't take a table, but if that's a total for A and B, we're going to add them together, and it has to be less than or equal to 150 acres. So the number of acres of A and the number of acres to be added together needs to be less than or equal to 150. Now the rest of them, so let's cross that sentence out. The rest of them have to do with these next couple of sentences, trimming, and it looks like picking. So we're going to make a table. And we're going to make columns in that table for A and B. The variables that we define always go on top with a total. Okay, the other ones are the constraints. So this is trimming, and this is going to be picking. Now the total that we have, it's 240 for trimming, and it's 30 for picking. So let's see what A and B have. So let's see, 1 day to trim an acre of crop A. So that's 1 day. 2 days to trim an acre of crop B. So notice we put them on a trim line because those are trim numbers. It takes 0.3 days to pick an acre of crop B, and 0.1 day to pick an acre of crop B. So 0.3 for crop A, 0.1 for crop B. Now you won't always fill them out exactly in that order, but you have to go from the reading exactly of what box you're going to put in. Now the cool thing is once you have this, it's really easy to write your constraints. 240 days is a maximum number of days, so we can have 1A plus 2B is less than or equal to 240. Notice we just went straight across. 1A, 2B, and 240. So the other one would be 0.3A plus 0.1B is less than or equal to 30. And there's your constraints. Okay, go back and listen to it again if you don't quite understand it. You see in the sentences that we use every single sentence that's in there that has numbers anyways, and therefore we're guaranteed to have all the numbers used in the constraints. Go ahead and go back and listen to it, and then remember you have to complete this whole packet in order for you to be able to retest on this target. If you're still struggling after watching the movie, watch it again. Watch it maybe a third time, and then go back to your teacher before or after school and get some help.